Hey there, Hoosier fans. I'm here, Nathan Brown, with Robby Howard and Connor Killoren. We are the IDS men's basketball crew here at Assembly Hall. Just finished witnessing IU's final exhibition win of the season, a 79-39 victory over Hillsdale College. Hoosiers started off very cold from the floor, fell behind 13-2 early, with some strength from behind the arc from Hillsdale's sharpshooters, but from there the Hillsdale kind of fell cold, and the Hoosiers really found their rhythm through their defense, created some offense, and ended up really pulling away very quickly.
Yeah, Hillsdale started 3 of 6 from behind the arc, and it looked like they were going to be red hot, and then they ended up finishing the game 6 of 27. IU went on a 31-11 run to finish the half. They ended the game on a 51-15 run. Hillsdale only scored 14 in the second half, just pretty much a stifling defensive effort from IU, pretty much ever after that 13-2 quick start for Hillsdale.
And it was ugly offensively in the first 10 minutes. I think the only bucket up until I believe it was around the 11-minute mark was a Noah Vonleh layup. Didn't look much better, for the rest of the first half. But the second half was when IU, the defense really turned up, created opportunities in transition, really buckets on the other end. And Crean spoke to that in his post-game presser.
Yeah, he talked about how, this team, if it wants to be great, as he says, it has to learn that the defense is what really matters, and rebounding, defensive rebounding, that's what really matters. Yogi Ferrell talked a little bit about Stanford Robinson, who made his debut at Assembly Hall in live game action alongside Devin Davis, who also made his debut. The only two Hoosiers who hadn't played an exhibition game yet for IU. Stan finished with 9 points and 2 steals and 2 assists and 2 rebounds. And Yogi talked about how his defense and his long arms and his deflections are what really lead to his offense. And I think that's something that we saw from all the IU players tonight.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with so many young guys on the squad, you've got Stan, you've got Troy, you got Noah, Luke, really all putting in great, offensive and defensive efforts tonight. They had their own sparks here and there. Troy pulled up from 3 from the right wing, which I think was a little surprising to some people. And Crean said in his post-game press conference that was something that he would really like to see from him. Troy often, I think Crean said, looks like he's shot out of a cannon and probably needs to control his athleticism. And I think that was one point where instead of driving to the basket and possibly going out of control, he came together, pulled up from 3, and I think that's something that if he can develop can really be a big threat for him.
What I had tweeted during the game regarding Troy Williams was that if he could channel his energy, obviously we said, as Green said, shooting out of a cannon, if he can channel that energy, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with on the offensive end. But, defensively, that energy really leads, to deflections, the kind of, like I said, just energy that Crean really needs and wants and requests on the defensive end.
Overall, I think we really saw IU start to, they're slowly learning how to use that length and that size and all that athleticism. I think the big problem in the first 10 minutes when Hillsdale was up 13-2 was IU wasn't really utilizing that. And then once they figured out how to do that, the defense came along and the offense came along. IU also really started to attack the basket. Yogi Ferrell was driving to the basket. Stan Robinson was driving to the basket. Jeremy Hollowell had a good game tonight, getting a start tonight, replacing Evan Gordon, who had started in the first exhibition game. But a really balanced scoring effort from IU tonight. Yogi Ferrell led all scorers with 14. Will Sheehey had 12, and then 9 apiece from both Troy Williams and Stan Robinson. So a really balanced attack tonight.
I think that's something that I would predict we're going to see a lot of this season. I don't know. I mean, yes, Yogi Ferrell, went crazy from behind the three-point arc in the first exhibition game against USI. Scored 20, hit 6 3-pointers, but I'm yet to see, yet to be convinced that this team has a really pure scorer on their team. I mean, there are guys who from time to time, whether it's from the behind the arc, whether it's in the post, can produce points, but I don't think there's one star in this team that's really going to be able to pull the Hoosiers through if, as a team, they're really struggling. But I do think you will see a lot of games where the Hoosiers have 5, 6, 7 guys in that, 8 to 12 mark that will really be the difference in the game.
Something else I think was pretty exciting for Hoosier fans to see was Noah Vonleh's a pretty good rebounder. He had 8 points and 9 rebounds tonight, and really, he at times he looked like a pretty unstoppable force down low. IU won the rebounding battle 43 to 29 tonight. That was a pretty positive sign for IU.
And I think, what really lends itself as far as Vonleh's rebounding abilities go is that he put on was almost 20 pounds of muscle since he arrived as a freshman. He's playing at about 6'10", 240 right now, and he really makes his physical presence be felt, in the post, and especially against, a weaker Division II team such as Hillsdale, that's going to be evident, and I really feel like he came in and was really a man amongst boys out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Crean said this in 2 or 3 press conferences, I think, the last couple of weeks. He's 2 months from his 18th birthday. The kid's very young, still has a lot to do growth-wise, with probably putting on a little bit more bulk, but his length is just unbelievable. With him and Connor in there, both at the same time in the post, they're, even in conference play, I think there are going to be some teams that really struggle to counteract that post presence that IU has, and I think that's going to be a really big strength for them this year.
Connor, this was obviously IU's last exhibition game before the real games start on Friday. Looking at tonight's game, what do you think IU needs to improve on the most heading into the regular season?
Well, I think that you heard Crean talk in his press conference about defensive switching, and when we sat over right behind Hillsdale's bench in the very beginning of the game, within the first 5 minutes, their coach was heard saying they don't know when to switch, they don't know when to switch. So obviously going forward, against inferior competition, it won't be exploited as much as it would be against Big Ten foes. So obviously that's something that has to be shored up by the time Big Ten play rolls around.
Well, like I said, everything gets started for real next Friday, or this Friday, I should say, against Chicago State. And follow all of us and the IDS Sports account on Twitter, and we'll keep you updated. So until Friday, see you then.